Hello everyone and welcome to the new episode of the Learn and Trade with Popeye. In this episode I want to go a little bit deeper on the volume profiles, both fixed and visible, since I received many questions on the everyday application and exception and the, let's say, pro tips on how I personally use, not to be the perfect way, but at least the way I like to use it in a logical way. Before moving to the chart, as always, make sure to trade with me with Blofin, that is sponsoring my content here in YouTube, so I will be able to post as many videos as possible. Blofin is a super cool non-KYC exchange. You will find the referral link in the description below to enjoy a 20% discount on trading fees and to be eligible for the many campaigns we run with the Blofin team. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and a like to the video, so I will know that you appreciate this content and I will try to make as much as possible. But without further ado, let's move to some chart and we start to go a little bit deeper on the concept of volume profile. You will find in the Learn and Trade series two videos, one about the fixed range volume profile and one about the visible range volume profile. So I recommend you to watch first these two videos and then the one that I'm recording now, or you can skip to this one directly if you have already some basic knowledge of the two tools. Both tools are integrated in TradingView, so they are native tools. In those two videos you will see my setting for both tools. To make it super quick, the fixed volume profile is a tools that you use to choose a beginning and the end of the volume profile you want to select, and it will give you a specific information like volume area high, volume area low, point of control, and the volume interaction of the area you have manually selected. So it's called fixed because I selected this time period and is giving me this time period, while the visible volume profile by the name is visible in the sense that is showing you the volume profile of the chart that is in that moment visible. So once again you can go back to those videos and see better the concept. What I want to explain is the way I personally use it. Is not by any chance the perfect way, the textbook way. Is a way that I developed during the years. So I think we have three scenarios where we have to, when we need to use these tools, four scenarios, where we need to use these tools in order to give us some objective level of ranges. The first one is when the range is just being developed. So it's the beginning of the range, and usually we have perhaps a downtrend where we clearly have lows and highs, and then suddenly the price start to go sideways. In this phase we are not yet 100% sure that we are going to range, because maybe it's just a preliminary moment. So I want to select, for example, this situation here in Bitcoin, where we did have an uptrend and we have the formation of a range. Now it's easy to see the range because it was already formed, but let's say that we want to select the range more or less. We noted that the price is starting to go sideways. As you can see, we stopped the uptrend somehow, we start to form a low high, so market structure become confused or not relevant, and we want to select this range. In this case, I use at the beginning of the range the fixed volume profile because I want to select this specific sideways price action that has been developed, that is starting to be developing here. So as you can see, I want to use the fixed because I want to see specifically what is happening here. If I use the visible, I will get a much bigger picture of the situation. So in this case, we have here our volume area high, and we have here our volume area low. If we cancel the replays, we can see if this was relevant or not, and we can see that yes, was relevant because we had a deviation below volume area low, and the price then deviated back inside the range and move up. Sometimes, to be totally honest, in this case I don't even use a tool or a volume profile. I simply use the parallel channel and I select the range in this way. But because for me it's very important the beginning of the formation of the range, before any deviation, before any sweep, before any manipulation, I usually select the first swing high and the first swing low. So these two for me are the important level in case we start to range, because I want to see potentially deviation of this level. So at the very beginning, if you want to use a tool on the volume profile tools, but personally many times you will see that when the range starts, I simply use this parallel channel that again are native tools of TradingView. The second situation is when we have a range that is starting to be or is being deviated. So in this case, always using the same price action, what we saw, for example, here. So this price action starting to break below value area low. In this case, what I do, especially if the deviation are long, is that I select with a fixed volume, fixed range volume profile, all the price action before the breakdown. As you have seen, I've selected with a fixed range volume profile the price action from the beginning of the ranging activity before to the breakdown. In this case, discretionary. Now you see that is really ranging. You could extend the fixed volume profile also to this price action, because it was already sideways price action until here, because we started to go sideways there. So a little bit discretionary. I usually like to use the first swing, but I might do sometimes, don't ask me why, this is also a little bit subjective, look at the beginning of the sideways consolidation. But going back to the point we were discussing, why I don't include in this selection of the fixed range volume profile also the deviation, because I try to apply logic. Why I'm interested in this range? Because I want that the volume area low underline and show me where this price action is truly or not a deviation. What does it mean? I want to understand if this price action, in case it breaks above, reclaim value area low. Okay, so I want the real value area low of this price action. Should I include in the volume profile also the manipulation, the deviation, call it whatever you want, I would get a lower line, and I would probably consider, if I go until here, probably this line, as you see, comes much way lower, so the volume area low become here, and then I don't have anymore a good level or a interesting level to tell me if that becomes this. I don't have anymore a level that tells me if this is a deviation. When I can say that this is a deviation, when we go back above value area low. That's why for me is important is the logic behind, not the technique. Why for me is important to select only the fixed range volume profile until before the breakdown, because I want to know, I want to get a line, a support, a level that will tell me if this price action here is a deviation or not. And the only way to do it is to select the fixed range of this block here and to get as a result the value area low of this range before it was deviated, so I can know and I can start to call deviation when we go back above. If it's simply a sweep, like something like here, is not that relevant. Is relevant, but let's say less. But if we start to have some price action here down below, then it really becomes relevant, because if you move, as I show you, the fixed range volume profile down to select also this, our value area will become here and will become useless for me, as I trade a lot deviation, to determine a level that I will call the line on the sand to see if this is a deviation or not. If we zoom, you will see that the relevance of this level is very real, because selecting again the volume profile only of the range before the breakdown or before the deviation, now we don't know if it was a deviation or not until it reclaim, you see that we got a first rejection, so this support become resistance, and then finally we break above and we start to break above this level. So the first scenario is we have a range, this range is temporarily, potentially, arguably being deviated, so we want to have a line in the sand that will tell us, okay, the deviation is over, price is going down and we never reclaim that level, or is telling us, look, this is really a deviation because finally the price is back above value area low of this range. Same applies for the top of the range value area high in case the deviation is on the top of the range. So this is the first application. The second application is when the range has been deviated and manipulated a few times up and down or whatever it is. So in that case I start to be less concerned on selecting only part of the range. In that case I select all the range. The example here could be this big range here. We say we take from first swing high, and now I take it everything. Why? Because it was already deviated down, has been, I don't know if it's deviated, broken above it for the moment, so I select all this range because there was already a lot of interaction in this range, so I take all the range because I want to see the real spectrum of this big range. So the application here, let's say R3, when the range is starting to develop, when the range has been potentially, we still don't know, deviated above or below, or when the range is a old, well-established range where we did have a lot of interaction up and down, we select it all. Why? Always the logic behind. Because potentially we are reaching a point of a range exhaustion, so as all the range, at one moment it will break. So deviated, back inside, deviated, back inside, range, potentially now this is the final breakout, or this is another deviation and potentially this is the breakdown. But here we have already developed some sort of range exhaustion. So what is interesting for us once we develop a bias, let's say, of range exhaustion? We want to know if this range is really been broken and is really been left behind, and we have the consequential expansion phase, whatever is up or down, after the ranging environment. Somehow we can say what happened here. So we can say that this was a range for quite some time, so we select all the range. The range is broken. In this case, what value area I is telling us? As long as we stay above this value area I, we can assume that this range was exhausted. So we did get all the usual dramas of all the range deviated, retested, going down, going up, broken up, retested, and finally broken to the above. So in that case, we want to see the limit value area high and value area low of the all the range, because we want to know if finally the range was exhausted and it was breaked above. So the three application of the fixed range. We use the fixed range when the range is 1 and we want to have data information level only about that specific range. The other tools that we usually use in trading ranges or value is the visible range. When I use this tool is when I try to see more than one range or more than one level. As you can see here, potentially we had a range. Here potentially we had another range. As you can see here, so we have multiple ranges, multiple consolidation. Also we can say that also this was a little range within the range, or we can say that this was a little range within the range. So what the volume, the visible volume profile gives us level of interest that are basically this big volume node that can become support or resistance in the future price action, and will tell us where in this massive price action where we had the most interaction. And you will see in the video about the visible range profile how to use them. Now I don't want to enter too much in detail, but in this way I'm not so much bound to a specific range, but I'm more bound to a general price action. As you can see, for example, this level was a resistance level more or less here and become a support level here, so potentially was an interesting level. So it will give you more broad, more general data on bigger level, and this level can be considered again as support and resistance. Why they are important? They are important especially if you want to determine if auction, so if whatever is happening here is a failed or a successful auction. So in the case, for example, of this resistance that we had for a long time here, I think I posted on X about this price action, that this resistance was to be considered properly broken in the moment that price start to find acceptance back above this level. Probably if I go back to this price action here, the volume node will be a little bit different. As you can see here is much more clear. The volume node, it was here, exactly at this level, that was the support resistance level. So whenever the action that we had here, resistance, potentially a breakout, when this breakout is legitimate, when we don't break below this volume node, but we break above, hold, and go above. So as you can see, this is what happened here in this price action. We broke above that volume node and we never came back to test it. Now again, with the recent, I'm recording this video 7th of October, Tuesday. In this video, currently now we are breaking down inside the range once again. and this again could become a support level. So whenever you would like to trade ranging using these tools, first of all, make sure to do it together with me on Bluefin. You will find the referral link in the description below. Bluefin is a super cool non-KYC exchange, so you simply need a mail address to register and to trade. No need to provide any personal information. It is super cool with a lot of liquidity and basically interface very similar to Bybit. If you use the referral link on the description below, you will also be eligible for a 20% discount on fees and to enjoy the campaign that we run with the team. So do not lose further time. Make sure to trade with me on Bluefin and click on the referral link down in the description below. Just to sum up, the concept of the practical use of the volume profile, we do have 4 scenarios. The first scenario is when the range is starting. As I say, you can also simply use the parallel channel, but let's say in that moment when the range is starting, we do take first swing high, first swing low, we select it with the fixed range and we get the first level, because we will be interested on that level in case they are deviated to go short at the top or go long at the bottom. The second scenario is when a deviation is potentially occurring. In that case, we use the fixed range volume profile and we select all the price action just before the breakdown or the breakout. So we do get a value area high or a value area low that will be very helpful to determine if this price action that we are currently living is a deviation or not. In case value area high is reclaim or value area low is reclaim, we know that was a deviation. Third application, when the range is well established, we select it all, because probably if it was already deviated above, deviated below, we are potentially reaching a point of a range exhaustion. In that case, our interest is to see if the range is finally broken and we trade above or below value area high and value area low. So we want to make sure that when it's exhausted, if we have a break, is a legitimate break, as long as we don't find acceptance back below our beloved range level. The fourth application is the visible range volume profile. In that case, we use it for wider level, or to see more specifically level of interest in terms of support and resistance, thanks to the volume node that the visible range volume profile is giving us, and to have a broader idea of level of interest. Perhaps there is more ranges, so the fixed range volume profile is not enough. With the visible, we see a wider area and we get different information, and it's also easier to zoom in and zoom out. I think that's it for the second part of the fixed and visible range profile. Let me know if you have any question, either here on YouTube or on X, because I know that when you start to apply this concept, it becomes not so simple to use it, and you have many questions. So instead of answering all of you all the time on the DMs, I wanted to make this video. So if I group other requests that are not satisfied in this video, I will try to make even the third episode. I think is everything for today. Always trying to keep videos short and practical and more direct as possible. I hope you are having a good time. As always, stay safe. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment and a like before leaving, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.